Wow. Hi, my name is Misongo. Why is it taking so long to focus? What's going on? The other really cool feature about this car is this. Oh, no, it doesn't sound right. I'll just go back to these gauges again. This one's actually got some interesting gauges on there. It's an interesting display. It's quite an old style. This design actually comes from the 80s. I've seen a few older 80s, mid 80s Mercedes-Benz with these, and even maybe the earlier ones. This kind of arrangement. It's got your fuel level up here, your oil pressure here. That's a scale from 0 to 3. I think it's 3 bar, but don't quote me on that one. And you got your economy gauge. Right now the engine is off, so it just sits over here. And you've got your temperature, your coolant temperature here. Speedometer like every other car. Your rev counter right up here. It's interesting because it doesn't go all the way around, but it's just tucked in all the way up the top there, like a half moon. And then you got your clock, and right here, so you got your clock there, and right here, I'll just switch it back on. There you go. You got your atmospheric temperature in Celsius at the moment. It's set to Celsius, and all the other warning lights light up there. Thank you, Mercedes. Hands you the actual, what do you call it, the seat belt. When you put it on, it goes back. That's interesting. Why hasn't the other side gone back? Okay. When you put it into drive, it also goes back as well. Alright. It's a very gentle car to drive. It's quite soft. It doesn't accelerate fast. It's a bit of a gentle run, sprint. It's not an AMG. If it was an AMG, I think it would have been a little bit more responsive, but still, I think most Mercedes-Benz of this time, they were not really aggressive sports cars like they are today, with all the crackles and bangs that they now have. Each, straight from the factory, the cars crackling and banging and popping. Back in his days, it was more about the gentle drive, quietness. There's not a hint of any backfiring from the exhaust. Everything is just quiet. It does have some go though. It does have some go. Let me close the sunroof. Been too much noise in here. Too much light. Alright. It's very sunny today, so it's very difficult to capture, to get a good shot. Traffic now. Let me just pause. I'm gonna find a quiet piece of road. This is with all the windows open, so we're getting a lot of ambient noises from outside. I'm gonna give it an acceleration right here, just to give it a sprint review. So this is in from scratch. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's the first time I've ever actually floored it from a standstill. Huh. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I feel bad abusing this car because it's very gentlemanly. It's a very gentleman style vehicle, and it's not exactly an AMG, and it's old, so you don't want to, overdo it. But yeah, I was quite impressed with that sprint. I got there, got to a good speed in a short amount of time. I'm gonna say it went about 6 seconds, 6 point something second, or even maybe 7 or 8, because it's an old car. But from the factory, I think these ones were rated to go 0 to 100 in about 6.7 seconds, which is not bad for a car its age. But don't quote me on that one, you better check up on that one. That's just what I saw on the internet, on Google. There we go. It's a very, very nice ride. When you close the windows, it's actually very quiet, and yeah, it's just really, really nice. Just looking around this engine bay, I'm actually noticing that there's a lot of Bosch parts that are used here, because I think Bosch is a German company. They do a lot of the European cars, like whole, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audis, Vauxhall, Opel. They use a lot of Bosch parts. Just something I'm just noticing here. Must be a common theme going around in this car. So if you need parts for your Mercedes-Benz, the first place I'll be looking is through the Bosch catalog and see if you can find your parts that way. Yeah, a lot of Bosch, a lot of Bosch. And the battery here, it's got a decent sized battery. It's a 700 cold cranking amped battery. I hope they're giving me the right battery for this car. It seems to do the job, so yeah, it wouldn't be too cheap. 700 cold cranking amps is quite a bit, and should be sufficient. Okay, there we go. The other thing I noticed as well, I haven't taken these wheels off yet. All I've done since I bought this car is wash it and buy new tires, because the other tires were just hopeless. Right now it's got 225 45 ZR17. They seem to suit this rim very well, so I think I'm gonna keep these wheels. I'm really, finding it quite interesting. Now the other thing here we have is the brakes. I can just see them there. I can't be bothered taking the wheels off, but you can see in here you got quite a large caliper in there, and it's got one piston and another piston right here, and you have another piston there, so it's got a 4-piston caliper at the front. And I think the back, I checked, I'm pretty sure it was just a 2 calipers at the two pistons at the back. A decent sized disc there. It's quite a thick one, but it's not very large. Nothing compared to these AMGs that they made. These ones are actually smaller. But the good thing is that you can actually see the calipers a little bit in there. The only thing I would really wish if it had been done was paint those calipers to match the body, a red color or a yellow, just to make them stand out. But maybe I might do that myself, I'm not sure. It's really impressive. Even back there, you've got, if I had a light I would have shown it in there. But whoever owned this car before me definitely took care of it. Even the dust shield at the back of the disc is actually quite clean, which is very rare to see. Usually they're dusty and they're brown, but it's all there. It's just perfect. I feel like not driving it too much because it's just so good. Oh man, look at the hinge on this bonnet. It's so thick and strong. It's like a swing. It looks tough. For the year that this car was built, for a 1990 model, the overall quality of this build of this car is actually quite impressive to me. I really like it. I like the way they've done things. It looks strong and solid. Look at the hinges. The hinges are nice and thick. They're not coming loose anytime soon. Big Mercedes-Benz star. What else is there in this car? Obviously got another ashtray here that's kind of hidden away. But these things obviously these days they're almost obsolete in most cars now, because you don't even get a cigarette most of the time, a cigarette lighter. No cigarette lighters in most cars these days, an option to have one.